$10 million. This is a drop in the bucket. Another high school teacher gets assaulted. And then there's a drum cover that's going to rock your socks off. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. Before we do anything else, go ahead and click that like button. Click that subscribe button if you already haven't done it. Click that notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And then please go ahead and share this with your friends so they can all get on the 2 hands and a foot bandwagon. Let's get on. So today it was announced, or yesterday it was announced that the Oversight Committee found that the Biden family has received $10 million through 20 LLCs that they found, and that's how they got the $10 million. But it was funneled from, China and Romania and Russia and Ukraine and many other countries. Funneled $10 million into the Biden family. No other president in history has done anything close to anything close to this. So I found it odd, but speaking of odd, did you see the way that committee funneled in to the briefing room, the press room, whatever they were at? Who cares where you're standing? Why does the entire committee have to be behind the spokesperson? Seriously, why do they have to try to get up on that small little podium, all crowd in, and they look like chickens in a cage, just wandering around trying to get to a spot and, bartering for positions and who gets to stand closest to the podium and the speaker, and the tallest guys are in the back, but not necessarily. And it was hilarious to watch them get up there. Just send one person to the podium and get the information out. It was hilarious. You gotta watch it. In its fullest. It was hilarious. So, anyway, they come out and they say they found bank records that $10 million have been funneled through these LLCs that the Biden family has set up. And they're from China, from Romania, and other places. And so you question that. But nobody in the mainstream media is seizing on this. This is a serious issue. A then sitting vice president taking bribes? That's a serious accusation. But all they're worried about, all the mainstream media is worried about, is this lady who has accused President Trump of rape. They found him liable for saying that she's not his type. Seriously, man, if somebody tell me that that I'm not their type, so I can get $5 million. I mean, seriously, that's ridiculous. It wasn't because he was guilty or there was shade thrown or whatever. It's because he said that she wasn't his type. So, seriously. But anyway, this woman can't even remember the year that it happened. But trust her, it happened. This woman who, on Anderson Cooper, when he interviewed her about it, she said that Hollywood glamorizes rape. To which Anderson Cooper goes, I don't think anybody glamorizes rape. How nutbag of a person do you gotta be? And yet the mainstream media latches on to this accusation that President Trump raped her. Come on. But they won't seize on a bribery charge or accusation. $10 million. Who knows where this could go? Who knows where this could go? And today, the Oversight Committee announced that the FBI has refused to comply with a subpoena that they issued earlier this month. The deadline was yesterday, the 10th of May, and so the FBI has refused to cooperate. Well, who polices the FBI? And who punishes the yahoo who said no? That's what I want to know. You've been subpoenaed. Comply with the subpoena or issue a response other than no. I mean, they didn't even say no. They just didn't do it by the deadline. They didn't even come out with a challenge. They didn't put an appeal process in place. No, they didn't do anything like that. They just didn't do it. So who polices the FBI in that matter? There's some document documents that can be exculpatory or can be incriminating that the House Oversight Committee requested. So produce those documents. Thank you very much. I don't understand unless they have an agenda, unless the FBI has an agenda, which that may be the case. They don't want to deal with this. They don't want to be in the limelight for another issue going on. They don't like President Trump. They like Joe Biden, and therefore they're not going to comply with anything that could be incriminating against Joe Biden. My guess is they've looked at the documents, and this is just my guess. But they've said, "Hey, this is pretty incriminating. We're not going to do it." Because if it was exculpatory, or if it excluded him from any of those things, or if it provided evidence against a bribery, then they'd gladly hand it over. They'd gladly hand it over. So the disrespect of the House Oversight Committee and their subpoena says that it's bad and it's not looking good for Joe Biden. So we'll see where it goes from there. I don't envy the House Oversight Committee and what they have to do, but I think it's a necessary thing. They're wanting to jump and the Democrats are wanting to jump up and down about this thing with Trump's accuser. That's not his type. Again, it's hilarious. But something serious as national security is they don't want to talk about that. Because it's their guy. This partisan politics stuff is starting to drive me nuts. It is. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't care who you are. And we could dislike Trump for all of his mouthiness that you want. But one thing is, none of the accusations of serious wrongdoing have stuck. And none of them have any proof behind it. As a matter of fact, there's been evidence contrary to those things that they've accused of, like the Russian involvement in the election. It's been proven not only false, but it's been proven to be setting him up for that, and a cover-up to boot. So where are we as the public supposed to believe what's going on now is any different in regards to anything? It's I'm privileged, you are not, no matter what. I in Congress am privileged, you are not. You lowly citizen of the United States, you're not privileged. The law applies only to you and not to us. I couldn't do it. I joked when I was younger, going into the law enforcement field, that I couldn't be an attorney because I'd have to learn how to lie. And a lot of these politicians are former attorneys, or still currently have their licenses active, but they're not necessarily practicing, but they still have licenses active. But gee willikers, the amount of malarkey that goes on, it baffles the mind. And this is just another thing of it. Why in the world would the FBI withhold evidence that was subpoenaed unless they had an agenda and it's incriminating. I bet you if the roles were reversed and it was incriminating, they'd be shooting that stuff out faster than snot runs out on a cold day. So why? They have to have, to me, that sounds like an agenda. Sounds like an agenda. Speaking of agendas, who goes to school thinking I'm entitled? Well, that speaks for a good number of students in today's public school environment. There was a school in Tennessee recently where a young lady in high school decided to pepper spray her teacher. Now, the backstory is this, is the teacher had caught this student cheating using her phone. And then he took the phone away, rightfully so. He took the phone away from her, and she got angry. So, let's go ahead and watch this video here and see exactly what transpired.
No. She just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. God, wait.
So let's pause this here. She had already pepper sprayed him once in the classroom that we didn't get to see. But then outside of the classroom, she pepper sprays him again. And she keeps repeating, give me my phone, give me my phone, give me my phone. And he's not giving her her phone back, rightfully so. Let's continue.
Over the phone is crazy.
I need my phone.
Look at this nigga.
I need my phone.
So let's stop it again. We got here now she's being confronted, separated by another individual. And she's still blabbering about her phone. I need my phone. Can I get my phone? I want my phone. Can I get my phone? My phone, 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 my phone. And you even hear in the background the guy who's recording the video over a phone. That's crazy.
Okay, give me my phone. She said, okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't have your phone.
Watch out now. I'm going out. Watch out.
I need my phone.
All over a phone. All over a phone. I don't understand the youth these days. We get into this position where we see our youth decaying in their morals. Now, watching that video produces within me a visceral reaction. Because when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I wouldn't have even thought to do that to my teacher. Any of my teachers, even the ones that I didn't like, I wouldn't even have thought to have done that to my teachers, let alone dare to do it. Because I know the moment that if I would have tried, I wouldn't be standing here. It'd be a graveside somewhere in a cemetery somewhere with my name on it saying, stupid choices brought this about. Anybody in my age group would not have even thought about doing that, let alone dared to do so. So the visceral part of me wants to sit there and says somebody should have knocked that girl on her rear end. And then when the inevitable lawsuit from the family comes to play, the judge should laugh the family out of the courtroom, all while chiding the parent, saying, "You're lucky you weren't charged either and you weren't sued." Because what people are forgetting nowadays, what parents are forgetting these last few years, is that there is a nerve that goes from the rear end to the brain. And when that nerve is triggered, an awareness comes into play. Oh, I don't like that feeling. What got me that feeling? Oh, doing this. Therefore, I need to stop doing this. And you get right back on the good path. People sit there and want to say that's abuse. Nah. That's not abuse. It's correction. It's discipline. It's proper discipline. Because at a young age, children can't reason very well. We find that adults can't reason very well. So as kids, you definitely know they can't reason very well. And so as they're young, they learn by pain. They do it all the time, and other things. They learn that taking too big of a step down the stairs makes you fall. They learn because it hurts. They don't want to do it again. So the same concept. Like if someone's trying to steal something, smack their hand. Someone does something ridiculous, whoop them in the rear end. The nerve from the rear end to the brain figures it out. And then as they get older, the transition from the pain stimulus and instruction style to reasoning begins and then continues. Obviously, this young lady did not get any proper discipline growing up. Did not get any proper discipline growing up. How in the world? And there's too many young people today that are in that same category. We've seen so many videos over and over and over again of teachers getting assaulted by their students. What that student just did is aggravated battery in my state. Aggravated battery. Charge her. Let her sit in jail for a while. But no, we're wanting to coddle young people today. I'm not saying abuse kids. I'm saying there are lessons to be learned. Discipline to be had is a necessary thing. And the lack of it has been shown in videos such as the ones we just watched. And the cure, sometimes you got to rip the Band-Aid off. Sometimes you have to rip the Band-Aid off. And it seems drastic. It seems drastic to sit there and just say, just spank your kids, people. Just spank them. They'll figure it out, because they will. And if anybody has an issue with spanking, let me tell you this. You're going to go through all your surveys and all your supposed research. I've got the best research ever when it comes to spanking. The greatest generation in the history of the world. In fact, so much the generation that actually saved the world. That generation was spanked. That generation who if it wasn't for them, we'd be speaking German or some other foreign language. They were spanked as kids. So if you want to sit there and tell me that spanking's bad for a kid, shut up. You have zero room to talk. Zero. You're wrong. Period. End of story. Facts. don't care about your feelings. You're wrong. Spanking is just fine. The greatest generation in the history of the world proves it. But until we adjust our attitudes and we understand that raising kids to be respectful of authority figures, don't go on your tangents with authority figures who deserve to not be respected, but to be respectful of authority figures who are truthful and honest, who do the right thing even though no one's looking. We need to have that back. That's my take on that one. So anyway, short story. Back in 2011, 2012, on a deployment overseas, I actually met this individual I'm about to talk about here shortly. She came over on an MWR, which is Morale, Welfare, and Recreation tour, and to kind of lighten things up around camp. And it's nothing else to do, so I didn't know who the individual was. And looking back on things, she was just coming into her artistry, being popular. And on the main stage. So we went to this small area, and she held a concert. And this individual is Lindsey Stirling, the violinist. And so we ended up getting, free singles, CDs of her and her skill. Mind you, excellent violinist. And you put it in your bag, and you go on about your deployment, and you come home and do whatever. And it's been years since then. And recently I came across this video of a drum cover of one of her songs. And so the last couple of I think it's been about a week or a week and a half or so of occasionally flipping through and watching that drum cover, because it's a really cool drum cover. And so I was like, well, wait a minute. I want to compare this to the original song. And so I went and I found the original song, which to my surprise, it's 3 years old. The original song is 3 years old. But it's an excellent song, and so what I'm wanting to do is I want you to watch a part of the original official music video for Lindsey Stirling's song Underground. So I want you to watch this, and then we'll go over the cover here in a minute. I could keep going with this, but it's absolutely phenomenal. This music video, and so it's actually really really cool. I like the setup of it. It's almost like a dystopian feel or theme to it, and absolute wonderful performers. I mean, the dancers were amazing. There's a gymnast out there that was doing some handstands and some twists and bends and stuff that I'd break myself if I tried. And then she's playing as she's doing her moves, and it all has this really cool, awesome feel to it, and it adds to the song. The song is excellent. So I think that it works. It absolutely works. And so I actually liked seeing this, and it was a change from what I had seen from her overseas. So now what I want you to do is I can't pronounce this guy's name, but what I want you to do is I want you to see this guy's cover or drum cover or addition to this music video. Now he puts a quote up. I'm not sure if it's actually Lindsey Stirling's quote, but he puts the quotes up beforehand during the intro version before he starts doing his drumming. But anyway, watch the drum cover. Go ahead and stop there, but I wanted you to see the differences between the two, and to see the similarities between the two. And so we as absolutely awesome and amazing drum cover. So let's see if I can pronounce his name. I'm probably going to butcher it. The channel name El Estepario Siberiano. Anyway, I'll put the link in the description as usual. But anyway, I wanted you to see that and see the difference between the two. And that is his real drumming speed. If you go, I've watched a few of his other videos. He actually is a really good drummer. It's not just post production. Although the lights in that obviously are added into it, but he is that fast. He is that fast, and so you hear sounds that you may not know he's double hitting with one hand as opposed to what you would normally see as double hitting with two. And so he actually does a really good job of adding to the percussion of Lindsey Stirling's song. And so I wanted you to hear that. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I think I'm going to go listen to some more Lindsey Stirling, find out some more of her stuff, because I've, for lack of a better phrase, lost touch with her music, and that actually is rather enjoyable. And this guy, I'll probably subscribe just because I like his drum covers and I like to see some of the setups that he has, and so I'll do that. But I'll anything, I'll put that in the description. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for you for your enjoyment, and hopefully, if you like music or a fan of music or anything like that, I like drumming myself, but so that obviously appeals to me. But if you like music, period, I hope that you enjoyed it. And so that's all I have for today. So as always, the description is going to hold all of the links to everything that we've talked about or discussed today. And so go ahead and go there for finding those things. But until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.